Hello guys, in this video we come with the presence of Nina from Monokomedia. She's an entrepreneur and a marketing expert that she's gonna help us in three practical cases. One, an academy of bachata, where they are starting and they want to find how to compete. Then a CRM for merger and acquisitions that I'm building, which is a really close sector. So let's see what she tells us. And then my own project, Conectora, my influencer role in it, how the content funnels the network, and see how she can support in this journey. So, Nina, can you tell us more about yourself and what do you do?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I'm glad to be here in my role as a founder and marketing expert. I've started monokomedia because, so I'm from the marketing field, but I also have a research backbone, which is my positioning. It's evidence based. And that's also what I do in my work. I always let it be fully guided by research and by evidence.
Okay. And what kind of services do you offer as well?
So usually what I do with my clients is we take a step back and we look at the whole system. So marketing in itself is a system, and if you want to reach your business goals with marketing, you need to design it for success. That requires you to zoom out and to look at the bigger picture. And what I mean by that is, if you already have clients, for example, you are looking at your most successful projects, the ones that brought in the biggest revenue, the ones that you really love doing, and you look what they have in common. So you will see commonalities, for example, around a certain buyer persona. You will see commonalities around maybe business size that you were helping to solve their problem. And then what you really want to focus on in that step is you want to look at the certain wording that your clients are using. By that, you can carve out the buyer persona, and you use your buyer persona to restructure upstream your positioning, your value proposition, and your messaging systems.
Okay, so would you say that it's a bad idea to start thinking about paying ads because you have a vague hypothesis about your ICP, for example? Okay, my ICP is here in LinkedIn or in Google. You should always find a better strategy and then pay ads, right?
Yeah, I really recommend that highly, because if you just go in with a vague assumption, that is your best way to burn a budget. If you want to do paid ads well, then the strategy needs to be there, because you want to have a very clear value proposition that uses your client's wording, that you can use for structuring your cold traffic offer. And once you have that as clear as daylight, then you can send paid traffic onto your offering. Paid traffic in itself is just the fuel. It can really let the fire shine brighter, but for it to burn properly, you have to put the system in place.
Okay, sounds good. So with this introduction, let's dive deep into the cases. So first we have a Latinflow Academy. This is a bachata academy that started recently, some months ago. The founders have extensive expertise and they already have a network. And they see that they are competing with Wales that are already been in place for a lot of years. So they are wondering what to do differently to get more clients. According to the founders, the business is actually in the beginners. So on getting newcomers that will advance on classes, going to intermediate, advanced, and at some point these kind of users or clients, they leave the school because they feel that they are already good enough to dance. One of the things that they are doing is they are implementing some other styles or similar styles to bachata to differentiate themselves. But how would you think that they can be helped in this case?
So what you really want to do in this case is you need to zoom out again and look at the bigger picture and look at the whole environment to see how can you reach your goal of having a community, of having people, having beginners that want to do their whole curriculum with your school. So what you really want to look at is your market, your target audience, and the people that are already coming to your school. What do they, for example, say about your school? So if you're looking at the market, there's a few factors that come into play because the market is already kind of saturated, right? There's a lot of dance schools that have a similar offering. And if you want to compete with paid ads in that environment, you will always compete on price. So that's an issue that you want to try and avoid. If you're looking at the audience, they are hanging out in certain channels, right? In certain communities. You'll probably want to be on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, and meet them there. And then if you look at the people that are already coming to your dance school, what are they coming to your dance school for? So you've already mentioned that they have specific dance styles. And that is a big advantage because potentially there are dance styles that other dance schools in Amsterdam are not offering yet, and that students will come to your school for specifically. So that is something that you want to communicate with the right group. But that said, since this is a new dance school entering a market that's already quite saturated, the dance school will have to be more creative because potentially it's a smaller budget that can be used. Potentially it's not that easy to compete with a budget on paid channels on prices. So what you really want to focus on is what other added value can we give to our students and to our community? So potentially look at events. Can we have a recurring social dance event that people will want to attend, that people will maybe even make their own UGC about, post some videos on Instagram, on TikTok, and by that make use of other channels other than paid advertising as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the help, for the explanation. Then let's move on to the CRM that I built. The context of this, essentially, it's a CRM that I started building as a pilot for a merger and acquisition advisory firm in Spain, and it has, let's say, AI tooling. It can centralize all their operations, so they really like it. The problem that I found here is that I try to reach through LinkedIn in the Netherlands and in Spain, and I don't get enough feedback, either of people that would like just to give me feedback on the software, or even buy the product, right? So it's really a close market because they build relationships locally, and they connect buyers and sellers. Therefore, in the Netherlands, for example, approaching as an international is tricky as well in this context. And I think I'm now a bit demotivated in that aspect with this CRM, although with my pilot clients and a new potential customer might be really relevant. Therefore, what I did on the landing page was make it more generic, since I can use the tooling currently for also other types of clients like solopreneurs. And how would you say that I can approach this case from a marketing perspective in this kind of closed market?
So there's a bigger issue that I see at the moment because from the M&A that seemed to be quite of a closed community, you sort of went more broad into more different use cases, more different industries. That isn't a problem per se, but the more you can niche down, the better your target audience will be able to find you. So that's one. If you want to break into a very tight network, you will need people to open doors for you. So one thing I can really recommend to you is to look at the people that you already have on your platform, see if they can potentially open doors for you in the M&A network. If you don't have that possibility, then you will have to go and network potentially at events, potentially wherever you find people in M&A. just to see and get feedback also about your product and about if it is really solving the problem that you set out to solve for them. So you will need a lot of feedback from your desired market. So another thing that you see a lot in SaaS is a partnership program, because you will want to have people that can introduce your CRM to their network. So you want to find people that are either working in M&A or that are servicing the M&A market community. So if you have people that work in or adjacent to that market, find the ones that will become a partner for you. Find the ones that will potentially get to use your CRM either for free or for a certain percentage of the clients that they bring in for your platform. This is a very common approach in the SaaS world, and that is something that has been working very successfully for a really long time. Even monokomedia is in partnership programs.
Okay, perfect. Well, sounds amazing. I think I will apply it. And last but not least, my personal project, the Conectora, which my current project, which basically consists on creating a network through content like this, and through interviews in events, organization, tagging and posting the people in the LinkedIn post. That funnels the YouTube channel, which is where the content is originally allocated, and also a form where people can put their desires of connection. For example, I offer my marketing services and I want to connect with partners or with clients or with X company, right? The idea with this then is to match the people myself. I match them in this database, and then I post the results of the matching in my socials again. And in this way, there is a circle of traffic, and I can create a network that is useful. Since I am starting building that, when I went to events or communities, I saw that the matchmaking procedure wasn't done really properly. So the whole objective of this concept is to match people effectively and with purpose, which is a thing that I haven't seen yet. So what do you think?
And what type of matchmaking are you doing with the platform? Like, who are you matching to whom?
So I'm matching everybody that has wants to connect with other person of their interest, or that has a specific need, or even matches that are not seen, but because I know that person could have some synergies with other person, then I can also match them together. The idea is first we have a simple form where you put your socials, your details, what you offer and what you're looking for, and then you can enrich it with also data from your social lifestyle, data if you are an investor of what you're looking for, or a buyer of companies, or if you are a company, also your details, what you're looking for, partners, clients, and yeah, and also even if you are a job seeker, talent, or recruiter. In this way, that's what I'm doing.
And we spoke about niching down before, right?
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Again, it is a beautiful project, because it's always nice to get people in touch and to help them actually drive moments of meeting each other in real life. I believe marketing is going to move much more towards that over the next couple of years, but it's still important to find your niche within that, right? So currently you're working with a lot of founders. That's already pretty much a niche, and that's nice, and it's a good way to bring them all together. So right now you have a lot of different people that you're speaking to, but if you focus on one group, it will be easier to reach them through your LinkedIn, it will be easier to reach them through your YouTube, and they will know how to find you as well. So that is one thing that I can give you as an advice. And then also look at how do you pull the bigger picture together. Like now you have the LinkedIn, you have the YouTube, you have the database and the form. But what is the value delivered? So what do people get out of it? I can see value in matchmaking for sure, but what happens after I fill in the form? What is my expectation? Am I waiting for a week? Am I getting a match next month? Am I getting a match next year? I don't know that, and I don't have insight in that. So it would be really nice to do something with the audience that you're creating, even if just a way to be in touch with them monthly through, for example, a network event, or maybe you have a monthly update of what businesses are in the community, what interesting opportunities came out of that, were there people that met each other, how did the meeting go? So keep people updated about that, and also try to find what value can you create from them, right? Because you have access to all of these people, you can speak to them and get information from them, what helps them, what kind of value do they want to get from the community, what is their expectation, and from that you get an idea of where you are building towards. You get an idea of the direction that you're going to go in.
Okay. Well, thanks. I will apply that for sure, definitely. Thank you so much for coming here. Some last questions, more general, I think. Do you think is there a point where you have to pay ads, and when, or is that feasible to know?
Yes, I think there's definitely a point. And it's also, in my opinion, very easy to spot, but I'm a practitioner, of course. You need your strategy to be super tight. You want your positioning to be very clear as day, and you want your cold traffic offer to be extremely specific and in your desired customer's language. Once you have that, that's the perfect moment to go and test out which channel is the one that's working best for you. Because even if you know your target audience very well, it is still important to, within that audience, wherever they hang out, test which channel works the best to get your customers to convert. And then one other factor that is really important is it already working organically? Do you already have people finding you organically through your website, through your socials, through LinkedIn? Do they approach you organically? Then that is the moment where you know ads will work.
Okay. And any conversion metric that is there a best conversion metric, or does it vary depending on the business?
Leads if you ask me, but that's because I'm very much from a lead gen background. It depends on the business that you're in. So I will focus on leads many times because that's what the businesses want. But for example, if you want to drive awareness, if you're running a branded campaign, then the ideal goal for your campaigns can be either awareness or engagement. But usually businesses focus very much on leads, and they want to track the revenue that they get per lead. So that is the conversion we most apply. And then you have a lot of different conversions if you're looking at the e-commerce space. So then you might have an add to cart, abandoned cart, purchase. So it really depends on the field that you're in.
Well, but that was it. Thank you so much for the whole masterclass. And I hope everybody has enjoyed this video. And see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Follow us on LinkedIn.